Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are so pleased to have in the studio with us this real cool cat, Leah Brun. She is the executive director of Komen, San Diego. It's been a day and some since I've seen you, my friend.
It has been a minute.
That is inexcusable. So talk about your work as the executive director of Komen, San Diego.
Yeah, so me and my team with Susan G. Komen work in the community for our community engagement endeavors, our corporate partnerships, and fundraising events for anyone that would like to get involved and support our mission.
Yeah, and what is the mission?
The mission of Susan G. Komen is to save lives from breast cancer by meeting the most critical needs in our communities and by investing in breakthrough research.
Yeah, and you guys do a great job on that. Full disclosure, I was honored to be on the Susan Komen board for, I think, 6 years, and then I was on the advisory board for a while. That's how I stumbled on with Leah, I think, after I had just jumped off. You're joined by your colleague, Jenny Wilson, Development Director. How you doing, Jenny?
Doing well. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Yeah. How long have you been working with Leah and the team?
I've been at Komen for about 5 months, and I'm just so proud to be working for this organization that's truly making a profound difference in people's lives.
Right. Is there a personal reason why that you are gravitating to this organization, personal experience with someone who's had breast cancer?
Yeah, so actually a family member of ours, she is a breast cancer survivor. And so because of Komen's work, I know that, we have her today, and that Komen's incredible team and the work that we do to fund research, I hope that my mother-in-law will be here for many, many years.
No, that's a great comment. Joined by my co-host is the associate producer of the Spotlight on the Community Show, Brandon Joe. Brandon, do you have any questions?
Do I have any questions? Well, I'm just curious, how did the organization come to be? What's the inception story here? Because I'm just always fascinated by this.
Oh, it's a heartwarming story, almost tragic, but Susan G. Komen was a woman that was diagnosed very young with breast cancer, and upon her death, she made her sister promise her that she would do everything she could to eradicate this disease. Her sister then went on and started a grassroots 5K run in Texas, which then just continued to grow because it did affect so many people, but it wasn't talked about in the 80s, in 1982. So it is something that has grown, and we've been able to just leverage the fact that it has affected so many people to create a movement over the past 43 years and reduce the breast cancer mortality rate by over 42%. So that's something that, its origin story of just being part of a personal family, I think everybody can really relate to. Well,
I think you'd be hard-pressed to find anybody, probably in this world, but certainly in San Diego County, that doesn't know of somebody that has been impacted, whether it's themselves personally or a family member by breast cancer. And Lane, one of the things you folks are really proud of, and we used to talk about it quite a bit when we're on the board, you folks raise a ton of money for breast cancer research. Talk about that.
Yeah, we're the number one funder of breast cancer research outside of the U.S. government. So what we do every year with activating our communities and having people that are passionate about our cause, they support through fundraising or making direct donations. All of that goes into the bucket for funding for research, and then we award grants to high-class healthcare institutions and research institutions that then go on to advance treatment and detection. How we try to reduce the disparities in the outcomes of breast cancer is one of the things that we're really pushing forward now in our research.
Right. And listen, we're lucky in San Diego County. We got all these unbelievable medical doctors in our area, institutions, research, scripts, and so forth. They're in our wheelhouse. They're 25 minutes away from whatever the case may be. And they're heavily involved in that aspect. Jenny, with your job, is it just to get more people engaged, to get business masses engaged to certainly bring in revenue. Research is not inexpensive, but it is so valuable. Talk about your role.
Yeah, absolutely. All of the things you mentioned are critical to the work that we do. And we are hosting our More Than Pink Walk in November. It's at Balboa Park. We're anticipating about 10,000 people to come out and join us that day. And that's a great opportunity to get engaged with our community for corporate sponsorship, to join as an ELC member, which is an executive leadership committee member, or, come out and support the community by, bringing your family, your friends, join us in the walk, as every step you take is a move forward to fuel our mission. No,
it's a great event. And as Leah knows, I don't think I've missed it in many, many, many years. And I usually try to seek out Leah. I made a foolish move of seeking her out. And then in 5 seconds, I was on stage and I'm going, what am I supposed to do? For God's sake, you remember that?
It's dangerous. You can't get around me. I'll put you to work.
Exactly. But everybody's in a great mood. There is no fee to participate. However, we encourage donations, of course, in this aspect. And maybe you know this, Jenny. If not, you can add to it, Leah. How much money is raised from the walk? Do you know?
So our goal this year is to raise $700,000 for the community. And what I failed to mention earlier is it's also a great time to celebrate survivors, thrivers, family members, and just community advocates. And it's a good opportunity for all of us to come together and honor loved ones and just take action. So we really hope you'll join us.
Absolutely. We're chatting with Jenny Wilson. She is the development director for San Diego Komen, or SD Susan G. Komen. Take whatever pick you'd like on us. Joined by the executive director, Leah Bruin. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast. We're in our 19th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things for folks living in San Diego County, whether it's food insecurity, whether it's financial literacy, you name it, homeless and so forth. Brandon, do you got a question?
I'm just curious. Excuse my ignorance because I'm a young 21-year-old. What was the technology difference between now, what we have for breast cancer, and before you guys became an organization? I'm just curious. It's just a lot of these things are just outside of my age. I just don't know what it was like before.
Absolutely. So I can answer a little bit of that. So what the big change that has resulted in the decrease of mortality has been awareness. And that's what the original campaign was with Susan G. Komen, is raising awareness of what your risk is, what you need to look out for breast cancer as a person, not just a woman, and then what next steps to do to advocate for your own self. So those were all things that were really transformative in reducing the mortality rate and helping people to understand what kind of care they need to seek. The second was the treatment. So that would be the diagnostics. So any types of screening and diagnostics, Susan G. Komen is really proud of the work that we've done in public policy to really spread and cover your annual mammograms. That is something that is mandated by the U.S. government to be included for free from your insurance companies if you're on a federal program. So that is something that if you have Medicaid or Medicare, that's covered. And that is something that could be a barrier to finding a cancer. And the earlier you find cancer, you're going to have a better outcome. So all of those combined have been the result of the reduced mortality.
It's just so amazing because all of these things are things that people fought for. People fought to put this into policy. People fought to put this out for advocacy. Our generation's blessed to have these things as a normal conversation. That every single year that we have these ribbons tied on trees back in my elementary school, middle school, high school, that we're aware of these things. I thank you.
Absolutely. I am very proud to work for an organization that has a long history of really advancing what we do to address breast cancer, and then also continuing to do so. In the past year, we had 21 states introduce legislation to, provide more care for people and reduce barriers to get care.
And that's what I'm curious about. What work is there to be done now?
There's a lot of work. So, barriers to care could include something like financial resources. It could also include, not being able to take time off from work. So we all have the right to go vote on election day, right? But that has been something that we had to fight for. And so whenever we talk about what's provided for us and what's considered, those are all things that Komen works for now. And Black women are 40% more likely to die from breast cancer than their white counterparts. So that's something that we need to invest in the research to determine why. And not only researching the medical side of things, but also the socioeconomic indicators of why that is the outcome. So those are all factors that affect our population here in San Diego. 1 in 6 women in San Diego will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime. And overall, it's the leading cause of cancer in Latino women, and it's the number 1 cancer in all women worldwide. So this is definitely something that we still have to work towards to reduce those amounts.
Yeah, it's usually we come back from break. I want to talk more about that, and Jenny add to that as well. I want to ask Jenny about the Impact Luncheon as well. And of course, we always save time, as Leah knows, for the second half of the podcast. What can our listeners do to support your event? Event and your cause? Donate, advocate to your, councilwoman or man or whatever the case may be. Come to the events, of course. Support it any which way you can. Certainly, what's been great about what you folks have done, Leah, you believe in metrics: 40%, 2% reduction, X amount more people getting, treated for, and also getting screened on them. So there's a lot more we'll chat about. We return after this very short break.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast in our 19th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of just doing great things in San Diego County, whether it's food insecurity, whether it's financial literacy, whether it's homelessness. They are there with us shoulder to shoulder. Thrilled to have in the studio, after a little bit of a hiatus, our friends from Susan G. Komen, Leah Bruin, Executive Director, and her colleague Jenny Wilson, Development Director. I'm joined by the Associate Producer of the Spotlight and the Community Show, Brandon Joe. So, Jenny, before we talk about the Impact Luncheon, the challenges that are faced, funding always is, among other things. Talk about that.
Yes. So to add to what Leah was talking about earlier, this year alone, we expect around 320,000 women and men in the U.S. to be diagnosed with breast cancer. And sadly, nearly 43,000 lives will be lost.
It's a big number.
Every 2 minutes, someone will be diagnosed. And every 12 minutes, someone will die from breast cancer in the U.S. So as you can see, the need is great, and there's a lot of work to be done. And we are proud of where we've come from. Since 1982, we've been able to reduce the mortality rate, as Leah mentioned, by 42%. But we still have some big challenges ahead.
Yeah, and I know you folks aren't doctors unless you went and got your medical degree, Leah, since the last time I saw you. But I guess you're shaking her head. That didn't happen. And one of these days, I think we used to do this in the past. Maybe bring in a researcher next time you're on. Mm-hmm. Okay, I know you got something squared away, getting close to the event, but maybe after that, bring in a researcher, bring in a doctor. Because one of the things I think we can talk about at the next episode or something down the road is Are these hereditary? Are these genetic? Is it the environment? Are we causing it ourselves because of what's going on? Is there research that goes to this? Because of what you've done, the numbers are going down because you've been able to treat it, but that doesn't mean the number of people getting it are going down in that area. And so that would be something interesting to talk about. Talk about the Impact Luncheon.
Yeah, so we're proud to host our second Impact Luncheon. It will be this spring, and it's an opportunity for us to come together and address different challenges that we're facing, but it's also an opportunity to come and learn about our work, learn about our mission, be amongst our community. And this year we'll be at another beautiful venue. Last year was at Mr. A's, and Leah did such an incredible job at hosting and planning that event. And I'll let her share a little bit more about the upcoming event.
So the Impact Luncheon allows people to mobilize and take action to address the biggest challenges that we are facing. And like you mentioned, the mortality rate is going down, but the people that are getting diagnosed every year, that rate is going up. So we're seeing that diagnosis is happening at an earlier age, at advanced stages. So that's something that people just need to know their risk. Like you mentioned, is it hereditary? Is it environmental? We all know that there are things that we can do for any type of cancer and general health that reduces your risk.
Exactly.
And so just keeping a healthy lifestyle, knowing your body, advocating for yourself, these are all the messages that we advocate for. But 15% of all breast cancers is hereditary. So we do want to address that and ways that we can either prevent that or just address specific targeted treatments. So that's where our research goes in. But then the Impact Luncheon is a great opportunity for us to say, like, is this a challenge that our community can meet the need for? Identifying that, hearing from local leaders in the industry, local experts that are sharing their take on the challenge, and then allowing our community to step up and fund whatever we can put together as the solution for that.
Yeah, and I think, when we talk about this, whether it's breast cancer or it's heart disease or obesity, some of this we can't control, but we're humans, and humans sometimes just go, really? What are we doing over here? Brandon, got a question for our guests.
Yeah, with all of these messages that you want to deliver to the community, how do you deliver these messages? Do you have partners? Do you have advocate programs? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, so as a national organization, it can be really hard to develop a targeted messaging campaign for every single community. So that's where our leadership, our volunteer leadership, is able to step in and help us. They are the trusted sources in their respective communities and their networks. And so we are always looking for people that are passionate about our cause, that are willing to step up and be ambassadors and advocates for us within the communities that they serve.
Are you making a push? I remember when I was on the board that one of the things that we try to do is get more young kids involved, going to the colleges and saying, you need to get involved in this, whether you have been impacted about it or not. I'll start with you on this, Leah, and you can add to it, Jenny. When you look at those folks, are you still looking at that young population to get more involved in breast cancer research? And Susan Komen.
Absolutely. I think that's one of our biggest opportunities is the young people. I know that this newest generation coming up into their college age are very passionate about causes. And so we want to tap into that. And if it's, if breast cancer is something that they are passionate about, we want to give them an avenue to get involved. Currently, we have support groups at several of the universities, whether it be through the Student Nursing Association or through student groups at UCSD. We have a group called the Pink Ribbon Initiative, and it's just, they are self-contained. They go out, they like to support all breast cancer initiatives that they find worthy. So it's like, those are the types of groups we want to tap into. I don't know if Jenny, you want to add anything, but I definitely think that that's where we have a lot of opportunity and growth.
100%, Jenny.
And I think we also have the opportunity to work with schools and sports teams.
Yeah.
Komen is looking to expand that. So we're looking for more community partners to help us fuel our mission and move things forward.
Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. We're chatting with our friends from Susan G. Komen, Leah Baroon, Executive Director of the organization, joined by her Development Director, Jenny Wilson. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to an edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, joined by associate producer of the Spotlight Show, Brandon Joe. And you have a question, Brandon?
Maybe not necessarily a question.
A statement?
Well, when you say 1 out of 6 women will experience being diagnosed with this, I almost think back to in high school, we had a program that was trying to bring awareness to car crashes, where they would have they lay out the car crash, et cetera, more on the ends of every single hour, they would take out one student from the class and be like, this student has passed away from a car crash. Wow. It's one of the student leaders. And these are students that everyone knows and that are dedicated towards emphasizing that this is the cause. And we were talking about, this is top of mind for me because I just came back from a course where we're talking about how these messages get passed. And one student was sharing a story about how one of his friends was the one that was chosen, and it really hit him. It really hit him that person next to him could be a part of the population that this affects. And so when you say 1 of 6, I think of my own friend group. I'm friends with a lot of just people in general, and 1 of 6 is that's a pretty large amount of people. Yeah. It's a pretty large portion of my friends, and I'm just shooting the shit of ideas and stuff. This is how my brain works.
Yeah, well, and that is it. It's word of mouth. It's getting it out, and I think doing these events, the 10,000 people, it'll be there for the walk. And what day is that again, Jenny?
Sunday, November 2nd at Balboa Park.
It's in Balboa Park, and it's a walk. You don't do the run anymore, or is there still a component for that?
No, it's about 2.5 miles, so it's not a timed run like a 5K.
Right,
but we do have a lot of folks that like to start in the front and run it.
That won't be me.
No, it's a little bit of a challenging little walk around. We go along the 163, and the ramp up coming back into Balboa Park is pretty steep. So if anybody wants to come out, challenge yourself. We do have where you don't have to do that part. You can turn around before then, but it's meant to be accessible for all.
And that's a beautiful place too. I want to get back to Brandon's point, and you're spot on this, Brandon. When you think about it, whether it's breast cancer or whether it's a car crash or whether it's pick it up, some dread disease, it hits home when it's someone real close to you. And then what you did the visual, Brandon. Man, I'm around 25 of my closest friends. 4 of them are going to get this, or whatever the case may be. That's a big number, which makes it more imperative that we want to get everybody, talking about it. There should not be any taboos of talking about breast cancer, for God's sake, because there is sometimes, unfortunately, with mental health in this aspect of it. How do people sign up for the walk, Jenny?
It's really easy. Just visit our website, KomenSanDiego.org, to learn more.
Right. And the Impact Luncheon is what day?
That's going to be on Friday, March 13th, 2026.
Okay, 2026. I take it it's too early to sign for that?
It's never too early. You just contact me. My information's on the website.
Okay, that sounds good.
Tickets are not available yet, but they will be soon.
Yeah. How many folks do you hope to get to that one?
We're looking to get about 250. We had 150 last year.
Nice.
And we sold out the venue that we're at. So we did grow a little bit. We outgrew the venue, fortunately, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But we're going to be at Eve downtown, venue right on the corner of it's Waterfront Place. So it is gorgeous. It's got gorgeous views. If anybody wants to get involved with volunteer leadership, we're looking to add to our committee for both the walk and the luncheon.
Right. And they get a hold of you through the Komen website?
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Front page of the Komen website.
Very, very good. You never can have enough volunteers. You can never have enough donors and so forth. Again, you can't thank you folks enough for this important, valuable asset that is in our community, what you're doing. Think about who we want to bring on. Well, we have you scheduled getting close to the walk as well. But after that one, think about who else we want to come in, maybe to promote the Impact Luncheon as well.
Absolutely. The topic of the Impact Luncheon will be chosen then. I think it'd be a great time to bring someone on to bring that up.
Very good, Labrin. Good seeing you again. And Jenny, a pleasure. A+ on your first podcast. Did you enjoy it?
Yes, this was great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and you've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest running community podcast. We are now in our 19th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Unions. 60 years plus of doing great things in our community, and we hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.